Only 1 week to go to get your Millionaire raffle ticket before they're gone. With 1 Millionaire guaranteed, over 5,500 cash prizes, and our best win odds ever, you can win it. Even your granny is learning ukulele can win it.
Oh, dear.
Play responsibly in-store, in-app, or at lottery.ie.
I'm a millionaire.
Welcome into Sportsmemo's NFL Opening Line Report with Teddy Covers. Teddy, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to all the listeners out there. Drive safe if you're traveling. Welcome into the podcast, Teddy.
Hey, man, great to be here. And, look, during holiday season, there's a lot of stuff going on. Sports betting, just one piece of the equation. We understand that. That's why we try to put this podcast out for you real early on Monday morning, get you all the info you need to know, and get you wherever you're going for your holiday. Thanks for listening, and by all means, have a very Merry Christmas. I hope you do.
Yeah, and Teddy, thanks to you for being on the podcast, 9 a.m. Pacific time on Christmas Eve. And if anybody's out there in a plane, in a car, however you're traveling, hopefully we're making your travel experience a little easier and get you on the right side of some of these moves for Week 17 in the NFL. First up, Teddy, any quick thoughts on tonight's Monday night game? Denver at Oakland. Looks like Denver minus 2.5 or minus 3 on the road here, 42 the total.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting involved in the game. If I had to play, I would probably look at the Raiders side simply because I don't trust Denver to be laying points on the road at this stage of the equation. That being said, betting Oakland in a game where they got to win in order to cover the point spread or come pretty darn close. I had two. Neither one was a right side. I don't know if either one was a wrong side, but I certainly didn't have any right sides yesterday, and I came away with a win and a push, and I'm going to close my week out. Merry Christmas for the clients and I. We'll close out the week with two, wrong sides and a push and a win out of those two. I'm not really tempted by tonight's game. If I had to play, maybe I look at the home dog, but not with. Look, I'm not betting the Raiders in a game they have to win.
Okay, makes sense, Teddy. And, you say Merry Christmas to you and the clients for the push and the win, maybe wrong sides here, but your NFL season wins, all 5 couldn't have been wrong sides. You went 5-0. Congrats to you. Congrats to all the clients that followed. What did you see this past week that made it go to an undefeated NFL season win total report?
Well, the Bills lost.
Exactly.
That's what we needed. Yeah, I needed one more loss from the Buffalo Bills, and we got there at New England. Although, and it was an absolute best case scenario because the Bills gave me a backdoor cover that I didn't deserve at all. I took Buffalo plus the points in that game as well. So I thank the Buffalo Bills. I will be sending Sean McDermott a Christmas card. But the whole goal of these season wins is as many right sides as you can. Don't go into Week 17 and force to hedge. And that was the situation last year. We lost a couple in Week 17. I was really frustrated. But that wasn't the case this year. I like to have them all decided and all in the W column before the final week of the season.
Yeah, no, good thing there. 5-0 with the NFL season wins. And Teddy, next year you'll have that up in July. Is that right?
That's the way we're doing it now. I'm doing it before the start of the preseason. And we add plays after week 3, or have the potential to add plays. But the initial report will be up in July, late July, after the All-Star break.
Yeah, huge success, long-term, really big winning trender. 5-0 this year. So next year, make sure to look out for that at sportsmemo.com in July. And guys, for this season, we have the special still running here. FB199 at checkout for the rest of Teddy Covers NFL season. We'll also throw in the rest of bowl season with that. That coupon code is FB199 at checkout at sportsmemo.com. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of the podcast, Teddy. Sunday, December 30th card. We got 301, 302 leading us off. Dallas, New York Giants. No line here, Teddy.
Yeah, okay. Let me start with every week in the opening line report, what we do is we give the look-ahead line. This is a bettable number that was posted last week for these games from the Westgate Superbook here in Las Vegas. I also give you my power rating number after the previous week's games, just a pure power rating number for these games. We're going to see a number of games today where the look-ahead line, and normally there aren't. This is the first year that I can recall they did look-ahead lines for Week 17. I think we're just looking to generate some action, which they probably did. But if you see the look-ahead lines versus the current numbers, there is a fair bit of disparity there when I talk about my power rating numbers. And remember, the numbers I'm going to give you for my power rating, these are pure power rating numbers. They have nothing to do with who's sitting and who clinched. do anything. So my pure power numbers are pretty useless this week, but I'm going to throw them into the mix because that's what we do. So, he starts with Dallas and the Giants. Dallas clinched the NFC East yesterday with their push over Tampa. It was not impressive. They got a defensive score that was a big difference maker in the ballgame, but it certainly wasn't anything that made, all right, well, Dallas is fixed now. The offensive problems are gone. Dak Prescott struggled. That being said, the market's waiting to see who and how many and who's going to be sitting for Dallas. No line here. The look-ahead line here was Giants minus 2.5. My pure power number is Cowboys minus 1.
Okay. Thanks for that, Teddy. And I'm not sure if you have your microphone on your shirt or something. I mean, it's fine, but just can hear it kind of rubbing up on something. But we got 303, 304 up next, Teddy. We got Oakland, Kansas City, and Oakland playing tonight, so not seeing any line in the marketplace.
Yeah, hopefully this is better. I adjusted the microphone. The look headline was KC minus 13.5. My power number is KC minus 15.5. And with the loss last night, there's impetus for the Chiefs to win this game. They need to win in order to clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC. If they don't, they'll be the 5 seed. So certainly the must win for Kansas City is going to be in play for this ball game. I would expect the betting markets to reflect that.
All right, Teddy. In 305, 306, Carolina, New Orleans. Not seeing a line here either, Teddy. And also the first 3 games, usually, there's like an offshore book or something that will have a line, a limited marketplace, but no line at all in either of these 3 games as far as I can see on the Sportsmemo odds screen, Teddy.
Yeah, and part of that is to do with the fact that it's Christmas, and no one's posting numbers because the odds makers aren't in the. It's especially when you're talking about offshore numbers. I mean, nobody's there. Everything's closed throughout the Latin American world today and tomorrow. So we'll see numbers get posted on these for Wednesday's game, but it is unusual to see nothing posted. But on the other hand, with a lot of these games, I mean, look. The look-ahead line for the Saints-Panthers was 5.5. My power number is 16. You know what I mean? Are the Saints going to play anybody? We don't know. They don't know yet. So, the Saints are in a situation where they're locked into the number 1 seed. One would think they'll probably rest starters, but obviously the markets want to be real sure. Are you getting the Saints A game? Are you getting the Saints D game? There's an enormous room, and of course, Heineke for the Panthers got banged up yesterday. He was, he was pretty lousy, and then he got hurt at the end of the game. So I don't know who is going to start a QB for Carolina here. So this is one of those games that may be later in the week before a line actually gets posted.
Teddy, great point on the marketplace there. I mean, I lived in Costa Rica for 18 months, and America takes Christmas and Easter pretty serious, but man, down there in Costa Rica, some of the offshores, you go into to those offices, and there just is not anybody there. Have you ever seen it this time of year?
Yeah, there's nothing going on. I mean, it is closed. People are at home with their family. No, I haven't been. I haven't been for Christmas, but I've heard enough to know that there's nobody around. It's the country is closed. The countries are closed in many regards. So, like I said, I don't expect to see, I thought we might see some stuff early this morning in terms of some of these games that have no lines anywhere, but that's just not the case. All I can do is give you the look-aheads and a pure power number. And again, my pure power number is flawed this week because this is just, Team A, Team B, subtract the difference, they have the home field. And that's not anything that's going to work for you in terms of picking determining point spreads for week 16 or 17 or picking winners for week 17. But I like to include it because it gives you an idea. Hey, where is the value here? Where would this line be if it was starters versus starters? So I do it. It doesn't take me that long to do, and I include it in the podcast because I think maybe someone will get something out of it. So with all that being said, we've actually got lines for the next game.
Yeah, and thanks for doing that. It's good content for the podcast, and it does help the bettors out there get ahead of some of these line moves. We've got 307, 308 starting all the games that are going to be lined. We got New York Jets, New England Patriots, 47.5 the total, with the Pats laying anywhere from 13 to 14 here, Teddy.
Yeah, and of course the look headline here, 13, my power number, 13. New England is in the playoffs, but they have not clinched a seed yet. They still have a chance with a win here to get the number 2 seed. Therefore, it's quote unquote, and the bye week, which the Patriots have had. Do you believe the Patriots have had a bye week every year since 2009?
In which week?
The bye, the bye in the playoffs.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They haven't even played in the opening weekend. They've been a 1 or 2 seed in the East in the AFC every year. So to me, when I saw that set, I'm like, wow. But anyhow, the look headline was 13. My power number's 13. The line's at 13. Jets gave good effort, and I could think. I wonder what the Jets bring to the table against after. I mean, they went to the mat yesterday against Green Bay and then came up short. Obviously, let it get away in the fourth quarter, fell apart in the OT session. All-time franchise high with like 172 penalty yards. I think it'll be hard for the Jets to get off the mat, but Patriots aren't any good right now, and that was real. That was on display pretty clearly yesterday because if that was a good New England team, they beat Buffalo by 100 in that game. And the Patriots just the passing game is spotty. I'll just put it that way. If they can run the football, they can win. But right now, Brady in the downfield passing game has some significant issues.
Teddy, we got 309, 310 up next. Later kick, 1:25 Pacific time kick, afternoon here. Philadelphia at Washington, 6.5 mostly in the marketplace. That's the Eagles laying on the road, 41.5 the total, Teddy.
Yeah, look ahead line here was Philly minus 5.5. My powering number's shorter than that. My powering number is only 3.5, but I've been a little bit off market on the Redskins the last couple of weeks, and I didn't put any must win in for the Philadelphia Eagles in this ball game. You know, if the Vikings lose at home to the Bears and Philly wins, they're in. Otherwise, they're out. So the games will be going at the same time. It's not like Philly's going to be able to look ahead to that contest or any stretch of the imagination, but there's certainly some must-win being priced into the Eagles at 6.5 over the Redskins, who don't be fooled by the final score. If you didn't see the game on Saturday, it was a 2-point game before a late pick six, but then again, the Redskins with a fourth-string quarterback might be throwing more than their fair share of pick sixes in games like this one, especially with Philly's defensive front.
We got Detroit at Green Bay up next, Steady 44 the total, with the Packers laying 7 at home.
Yeah, two teams that are officially eliminated. The look-ahead line here was X. There was no look-ahead line because they didn't know if Aaron Rodgers was going to play. Obviously, with this point spread, they're expecting Rodgers to play here just like he did last week. My powering number, Packers, 8.5. And remember last week on this podcast, I'm like, yeah, the look-ahead line here was Vikings minus 3, and my powering number is Vikings minus 3, and here's the Vikings laying 5.5, 6, and yet I don't want any part of Detroit. I was real glad I didn't want any part of Detroit. They settled for field goals and then let everything fall apart after a Hail Mary, and that's the story of the Lions. I'm not convinced they come with great effort in Week 17, and I could only anticipate money coming on Green Bay for this ballgame. The early money's come on Detroit. I don't think it goes. It certainly doesn't go any further, and I'm not going to call this an emergency betting alert because the money's come the other way. The early money's come the other way, which is kind of surprised me. And I guess they're coming off an OT win, and the Lions are playing a divisional foe. But I want no part of Detroit in Week 17 at Lambeau. That's been a house of horrors for them over the years.
This is the NFL opening line report with Teddy Covers, who is 62% in the NFL year to date. Even more impressive, 58% since the start of 2015 in the NFL. Knows the NFL betting markets as good as anyone. Next game up, Teddy, 313, 314, Jacksonville, Houston, 40.5 the total. Seeing 7.5 or 8, that's Houston laying at home.
Yeah, and of course, Houston is being priced as a must-win team. Well, I'm not calling them a must-win team, but they're certainly being priced as a team that has to do something. They clinched a playoff berth, but they need to win the AFC South. They get a win here. A loss puts them as a wild card team. So this is the difference between playing at home in the first round of the playoffs or playing on the highway. So is that a huge deal? I don't know. They're in already. The markets tend to think things like this are a huge deal. Look headline here, Houston minus 7.5. My powering number, Houston minus 10. The Jags found a team they could beat yesterday. It wasn't because of anything their offense did. Cody Kessler got benched and Blake Bortles came back in. That's how bad it was for Jacksonville. And Bortles led them back into a game-winning field goal drive.
I was going to say, he looked pretty good. He was running around. Looked pretty athletic.
Of course he did. Yeah, I can't imagine there'll be a ton of Jacksonville support. The wise guys are going to love the Jags defense, so maybe there will be decent Jags support for this ballgame. I don't see this line moving. 7.5, 8. Maybe there will be under. Can it go to? Boy, the market indicators are saying. I'm just looking at the screen right now, and with Penny at 7.5 even money, and bookmaker 8 plus a nickel. I don't want to call it an emergency betting alert, but it feels like if you like the Jags plus the points, you should grab them sooner rather than later. That could change later in the week. But there's always, there continues to be wise guy support for Jacksonville, and the wise guys absolutely dominate the Week 17 NFL betting market. So maybe grab the the Jaguars plus if that's the way you're inclined to do it right now. But I don't have any Wii U's for this one. It's not a Wii U emergency betting alert. It's don't sleep on it if you like Jacksonville, because that may not be there.
Maybe a betting alert watch, Teddy.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't have any strong Wii U's for today, so maybe I should have used it. But I don't want to I don't want to make one up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't force it.
But on the other hand, because one of the things I do, I look at the numbers last night, I look at them again this morning, and then as we're talking right now, I'm seeing the difference for where the markets were and where they were like an hour ago when I looked at them, and I'm definitely seeing support for the Jags in the markets that wasn't there. So maybe we do Wii U this game. Maybe this does have a reasonable chance to get down to 7, and if you want the plus 7.5s or plus 8s, you should grab them now. So yeah, okay. I don't know what I just said.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Merry Christmas. 315, 316, Cleveland at Baltimore. 41 the total. Looks like the Ravens laying 5 or 5.5 at home.
Look ahead line, 4.5. My powering number, 4.5. All of a sudden, a Ravens team that was absolutely dead, where they had like a 5% playoff chance or something. Boy, I wish I could bet their playoff chances. These FPI predictions. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but obviously they're not. The betting markets would laugh at their prediction models. That's all I'm going to say. Would absolutely laugh, because including the in-game prediction models, they do not, they have a 99% chance of winning. Oh, now they have a 1% chance of winning. Yeah, well, the betting markets aren't. No, that doesn't fly that way. But anyhow, Ravens win and they're in. It's just that simple. They lose and the Steelers win. Pittsburgh live to get in. If you've been watching the Cleveland Browns play over the last month, man, they're not a team I'm in any rush to step in front of right now. They've looked really good. Baltimore's the must-win team. Cleveland is the hot team. Their money's coming on the early money, coming on the dog here. 6.5 at the opener. We're seeing 5.5s right now. And like I said, look at line 4.5. My powering number 4.5. I would expect the money to continue to come in on Cleveland. But when we're talking about 5.5, we're not talking about necessarily a key number. So for the alert, you got to get down on this one. It's if you miss the number, if you miss the 5.5 and it goes to 5, it's not the same as missing the 3.5 and going down to 3, or a 7.5 and going down to 7 or something like that. It's not essentially a dead number and not going to kill you if you don't get it in your pocket. That being said, I feel like the Browns money is going to come, and then I feel like Baltimore is the must win and it's not going to come. So I have mixed feelings about where this line's going to go, to be honest, and I wish I could help you more than that. I will say this, again, if you see a 6 and 5.5, I'm not convinced they're going to be there for long.
We got 317, 318 up next. NFC South matchup, Atlanta, Tampa Bay. Not sure what's happening to Jameis Winston, Teddy, but he doesn't look all that great. 50.5 the total, seeing Pick'em to -1. Actually, a couple -1.5s out there offshore. What do you see in Atlanta, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, a look at line here, Falcons -3. My powering number is Falcons -0.5 a point. Slightly. That means I abbreviate that as PK/1, because I expect the line to come either pick them or at 1. And Atlanta opened the favorite, and now Tampa's the favorite. And I don't really understand why the markets have moved in that direction. Falcons didn't look hopeless yesterday. That defense is a lot better. Once they start getting some bodies back, and I'll give Tampa credit. Tampa was a lot better than Dallas yesterday, but they made mistakes, and that's what the Bucs do. And they had the fumble 6, and they had there was another one where Winston, they went for it on 4th down, and Winston got stopped short inches away from the goal line. It's it wasn't like Tampa played like a quit team yesterday. And the markets really don't expect them to play like a quit team in Week 17. Atlanta got their win last week. The markets are saying maybe as a non-playoff team they don't come with full effort in their finale. So the early money, and this is sharp money, that's absolutely come on Tampa. I would not be surprised if we see more Bucs money, even though both the look ahead and my powering number say this is enough Tampa money. They should not be laying 2.5 or 3.
AFC East battle here, Teddy. Miami at Buffalo, 38 the total. Buffalo, the Bills laying 3.5 at home.
Look line here was Buffalo -3. My powering number is Buffalo -3.5, and the markets are at 3.5 right now. Miami was pretty awful against the Jags. The post-game comments were very, very negative. Gase's job is very much in jeopardy. Tannehill's job is very much in jeopardy. Now you have the warm weather team off an ugly loss going up to the cold. We're not going to see a lot of market support for Miami this week. That being said, we've seen the Bills now. And again, I got a point spread cover with Buffalo that was as fraudulent as it. Well, on the one hand, it was because Buffalo did absolutely nothing all game, and then the prevent defense final drive, they get a touchdown and get it under the number. The bet was against New England, and I stand by that. But the Bills were god awful for extended stretch. We've seen Buffalo laying points now twice in the last 3 weeks at home. They didn't cover either one. They were lucky to win one of the two, I can't imagine we're going to see a ton of support for the Bills. Although this will likely be one of the lesser bet games of the weekend. No surprise here. We see some under money as well with potential weather in Buffalo between two teams that are already eliminated.
The NFL Opening Line Report podcast with Teddy covers in coupon code FB199 at checkout. That's FB199 at checkout. Gets you the rest of his NFL season, plus the college football bowls thrown in at sportsmemo.com. $300 worth of savings there, guys. Teddy, the flex game here Sunday night, 3-2-1, 3-2-2. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Not seeing any lines out there, although one of the most important games of NFL Week 17.
Yeah, this has been flexed into the Sunday night game. And the NFL loves these because the winner is in and the loser is out. And it's that simple. So it's a de facto playoff game in Week 17 for Indy and Tennessee. Look ahead line, Colts -2.5. My powering number, Tennessee -2. That is a Mariota powering number, though I'll tell you this. The questions are about, of course, Mariota or Blaine Gabbert. And I don't know how much of an adjustment do you make between the two? I don't make a big adjustment from Mariota
to Gabbert?
To Gabbert. I don't. I really don't.
A healthy Mariota, I would. No, Teddy?
Have you watched him play? He's very mediocre. Gabbert's very mediocre. Gabbert and Mariota have comparable skill sets and are comparable quarterbacks in my power ratings right now. And it's just that simple. I mean, you can make a case that Gabbert's way worse. I don't. I don't. All that being said, the markets will. The markets will react very negatively if Gabbert is the QB instead of Mariota in this ballgame. And Indy's the hot team right now. And, the way they rallied from behind yesterday to beat the Giants and, stay alive, I would anticipate the Colts will be a hot ticket. And I wouldn't even be shocked. Like I said, my powering number has Titans favored. I wouldn't be surprised. If Gabbert starts, Indy's going as the chalk here. Certainly not going to, again, look at line here was Colts 2.5. But those Week 17 look headlines, you don't want to freak out too much about them because they all involve various random playoff scenarios.
All right, I'd go with your thoughts on that. 58% since 2015 in the NFL. That's the Sunday night one. It will be fun next Sunday night. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Next game up here, Teddy, 3-2-3, 3-2-4, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. 48 the total. Looks like the Steelers 14, seeing 14.5 at Intertops, seeing a 15 out there as well. Got some opinion in the marketplace. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Teddy.
Look at line, Steelers -13. My powering number, Steelers -12.5. And yeah, the Steelers are supposed to kill them this week, right?
That's what the markets are telling us.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh has to win and hope for a Baltimore loss. Oh, wait a minute. No, those are all late games. Yeah, the Browns, Ravens got flexed to the late game. The Steelers, Bengals flexed to the late game. So they'll be playing at the same time.
Do they do that to be fair?
Yes.
Okay.
But they do that because it's better for TV ratings.
Okay.
There's nothing to do with fairness. It has to do with how can they make more money. And that make no mistake about it. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
But it's better for the TV ratings when the drama is going on concurrently as opposed to one versus the other. But Pittsburgh played a great game in New Orleans yesterday, and in the last 3 drives, it's fumble, fake punt stopped, fumble, and then they give it away, and that's kind of been the story of their season. we're not going to see a groundswell of Bengals support this week. But again, since he did it again, they did it. I mean, it's the most whenever they're dead, whenever the Bengals are completely dead, that's when they play their best football. And they were down 23-0 in that game,
yeah,
and ended up covering, losing 28-16. And as soon as their season's over, that's when they play well. I mean, it's been the case for the Bengals forever, and they're not going to lay down in this ball game. But that being said, the money will come on Pittsburgh. It's already coming on Pittsburgh, and it's not maybe not. I mean, they were 15.5 to 16s at the opener. Maybe it's not going to come on Pittsburgh. I'm speaking nonsense over here, and I hate to do that, but I can't anticipate Cincinnati taking money. I can't do it. So it's 14 or higher. At 14, I would buy Pittsburgh because I don't think it's going to get any lower than that.
All right,
buy Pittsburgh.
Okay. We got NFC North up next, Teddy. Chicago, Minnesota, 41 the total with the Vikings laying 6 at home.
Yeah, look at line here with 6.5. My powering number is 3. But, we'll see. In terms of, it really feels like the markets are pricing a lot of must-win into this for the Vikings and kind of dismissing the Bears. Now, the Bears are no worse than the number 3 seed. They could still move up to number 2 and get a first-round bye if they win and if the Rams lose. We'll talk about the Rams in a minute, but they're certainly not going to expect the Rams to lose at home to San Fran. That being said, I've seen no indication from Chicago they're going to take it easy. They're going to be resting guys. They don't care, yada, yada. The money's come, the first bets have come on the Vikings. And again, look at line here with 6.5. Minnesota playing to get in. It's a spot where one would anticipate that the team in the must-win spot, of course, the Vikings sitting in the number 6 seed right now. They're still alive for the 5th seed. If they win and Seattle loses, they'll get that. But Minnesota has not clinched anything yet. The Seahawks, on the other hand, already have.
Couple games left here, Teddy. 327, 328. Another later kickoff, 125 Pacific kick here. The rest of the games are LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos. No line here with the Broncos playing Monday night.
Yeah, one good thing about Week 17, they don't have any Saturday games. There's no Monday night games. So they actually have a good card for the 1 o'clock games. There's like 7 games or 6 games. No, I think it's 7 for the 1 o'clocks as opposed to like some weeks you get 2 or 3.
Yeah, way more than normal.
Yeah. And this is a week that they know everyone is going to be watching. Look ahead line here, Chargers minus 5.5. My powering number, Chargers minus 3.5, and they're not going to post anything until we see how the Broncos look and how they play tonight. So one would anticipate, again, if you like, there's nothing to bet, but if Denver looks good tonight, this number could come a little bit shorter. If then the 5.5 look ahead. If Denver looks awful tonight, the Chargers could easily be laying a touchdown in this ballgame. And, of course, L.A., when it comes to a playoff positioning, is that right? Because the Chargers, when it comes to playoff positioning, are still very much in flux. They need a Chiefs loss. They could still steal the division if
they win and the Chiefs lose.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Teddy, we got 329, 330 up next. Arizona, Seattle. Not seeing a line in the marketplace here. What's going on with the Cards and Seahawks?
Yeah, and I'm just checking on this one because Arizona's obviously eliminated. Seattle has clinched their playoff spot, and if they win or the Vikings lose, they lock in at number 5. If they lose and the Vikings win, put Seattle number 6. I don't know if it's a huge difference. And certainly the markets don't know yet how Pete Carroll plans on approaching this ballgame. He tends to be a bet-on coach in Week 17. Look ahead line here, Seahawks minus 10.5. Powering number, Seahawks minus 14. And, Arizona was pretty hopeless yesterday, and they do not look like a team that's going to come with an A game when it comes to a meaningless finale on the road in Seattle. They're the weakest team in the NFL, and they're almost locked into the number 1 overall pick. And I think that, the coaching staff might not want it, but I don't see Arizona coming to play, and I think the market's likely to reflect that.
Teddy, we got one game left. And guys, remember the coupon code FB199 at checkout to get the rest of Teddy Covers NFL season. That's Week 17 plus all the playoffs plus the Super Bowl package. Get his Super Bowl props package. No extra charges later. And we'll throw in all the college football bowl games, which we'll be releasing today on sportsmemo.com. That coupon code is FB199. Teddy, last game here. 3-3-1, 3-3-2, San Francisco at the LA Rams. 50 the total. Seeing the Rams -9, -9.5, depending where you're shopping.
Look ahead line, Rams -9. My powering number, Rams -11.5. The seeding for LA is still uncertain. They need to win or have the Bears lose to lock in at the number 2 seed and get a bye. So we would expect the Rams to come and play here. San Fran, they've been fighting. I'll give them credit for that. But that's, the fight's there. The ability to win games, against quality foes on the road in Week 17 might be a little bit dicey in that regard. Worth noting for LA, certainly the skid that they had, their offense looked better yesterday, but Goff still doesn't look right. The receivers still aren't there in terms of making big plays downfield. That offense hasn't been the same since Cooper Kupp got hurt. It really hasn't. They brought in C.J. Anderson off the waiver wire, and he ran for 170 against Arizona. That may work here against San Fran, but from a point spread perspective, 9, I'm surprised as low as it is, but it's showing a clear indicator in the markets. They don't respect the Rams nearly as much as they did a month ago at this time.
Guys, check out sportsmemo.com. We got Andrew McGinnis with full World Hockey package. That's the Junior World Hockey League up. We got Teddy Covers, Teddy's Christmas Day NBA. Also Nick Barrowman, Premier League Wednesday double play. They're in the Premier League. That's the soccer. Teddy, anything else you want to throw out there before we shut this NFL Opening Line Report podcast down?
I want to thank you for coming in and doing with me today, Drew. I want to thank you all out there for listening. I want to give you all a very Merry Christmas wishes and best of luck, man. Bet with your head down over it. Don't put yourself in a bad spot over the holidays, and hopefully we can share some winners together, and hopefully we can give you some good information and keep you in the black, both here for the remainder of 2018 and into 2019 and beyond. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll be back later in the week.
Well said, Teddy. Safe travels out there, guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll be back Wednesday with the College Football Bowl podcast with Robbie Vino. Guys, safe travels. Merry Christmas. Best of luck with your bets.
Give the gift of golf this Christmas. The Dubai Duty Free Irish Open lands in Lahinch next July, and we've got a special Christmas offer to help you plan an unforgettable summer trip. From now until Christmas Day, a limited number of pairs of any one-day tickets are available. With a week of golf, music, and entertainment in West Clare to get excited for, it's the perfect gift for you or the golfer in your life this Christmas. Search Irish Open any one-day offer for more information and to buy.
Only 1 week to go to get your millionaire raffle ticket before they're gone. With 1 millionaire guaranteed, over 5,500 cash prizes, and our best win odds ever, you can win it. Even your granny is learning ukulele can win it.
Oh dear.
Play responsibly in store, in-app, or at lottery.ie.
I'm a millionaire.